माधव कुंज बिहारी। बोलिए। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा माधव। जय राधा माधव। जय राधे श्याम ललिता विशाखा। जय राधे श्याम। जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम। जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन। जय गिरि गोवर्धन। निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद-गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 14, entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. Please repeat. Yadā sattve pravṛddhe tu pralayam yāti deha-bhṛt tadottama-vidāṁ lokān amalān pratipadyate. Yadā sattve pravṛddhe tu pralayam yāti deha-bhṛt tadottama-vidāṁ lokān amalān pratipadyate. Yadā sattve pravṛddhe tu pralayam yāti deha-bhṛt tadottama-vidāṁ lokān amalān pratipadyate. Mataji. Yada, when sattve, the mode of goodness, pravṛddhe, developed, tu, but, pralayam, dissolution, yāti, goes, deha-bhṛt, the embodied, tadā, at that time, uttama-vidāṁ, uttama-vidāṁ, of the great sages, lokān, the planets, amalān, pure, pratipadyate, attains. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. Purport. One in goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka or Janaloka, and there enjoys godly happiness. The word amalān is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, 14th chapter, describes the three modes of material nature. What are the three modes of material nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. Sattva, raja, and tama. So here in this chapter, Lord Krishna describes to Arjuna about the three modes and its effects upon the living entities. So here in this verse, Lord Krishna describes, you see, look at the verse. Yadā sattve pravṛddhe. Krishna says to Arjuna, Yada, when sattve pravṛddhe, sattve pravṛddhe. When sattva guna increases, at sattva guna, what happens sattva guna? Deha-bhṛt pralayam yāti. When sattva guna increases, at that time someone leaves his body. Sattva guna में कोई शरीर छोड़ता है तो, okay? When sattva guna increases, at that time when someone leaves the body, what happens? Second line. Tadā, उस समय, at that time, uttama-vidāṁ lokān. Uttama-vidāṁ. So Prabhupada translates that of the great sages, higher planets of the great sages. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, he explains that it's those who worship Hiranyagarbha. Listen attentively, who is this Hiranyagarbha, this personality? Those who worship Hiranyagarbha, to that planet, this person, when he leaves his body in goodness, he attains. So that uttama-vidāṁ, lokān, is the Prabhupada writes in his purport that Brahmaloka or Janaloka. So, and then amalān pratipadyate, where in that planets there is no raja, no tama. In such planets there is no passion, no ignorance. Zero passion and ignorance. So that person attains. Simple, let me tell you. When one person leaves his body in the mode of goodness, he attains the most highest planet, uttama-vidāṁ, that means the Brahmaloka or Janaloka. So here we are in the Bhūloka. Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Jana, Maha, Tapa, Satya. Like this, higher planets are there. So who goes to the higher planet? Those who are very pious and those who are in the mode of goodness, those who live their body in the goodness, they go to the higher planets. So this is the destination they get, what Lord Krishna says in this verse. That the significance of that planet is, कैसा है वो ब्रह्मलोक या जनलोक या ऊंचे लोक? How this, what kind of planet is this? free from passion and ignorance. Amalān pratipadyate. Completely pure, free from passion and ignorance. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 25, 22, there is Uddhava-gīta, it describes that sattve pralinaha svariyanti. Means one who lives the body in the mode of goodness, they attain the heavenly planets. So, dear devotees, now we know that we have, in this world there are three modes. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. Sattuguni, they go to the higher planets. Who lives in this world? Madhye tishtanti rajasa. Rajaguni, they live in this world. And then, jaganya guna vrityascha adho gachanti tamasa. Those who are engaged in very ghastly activities, sinful activities, they degraded themselves to the lower planets, means lower lives also, animal life, hellish planets like that. So here in this world, Martyaloka, Bhūloka is most prominently Rajas. Hardly Sattva. 100% Tama. Even in the class. Am I right? Rasa Sindhu Prabhu. Mostly they are in passion. Hardly Sattva. Sometime very few they are in Sattva-gun. And mostly they are in passion and ignorance. What is the symptom of passion and ignorance? They go to bed at 12 o'clock midnight. Then what time they get up? Yes? 7, 8 o'clock. And then somehow they prepare themselves, then they get ready for their work. The whole night goes in sleeping or with man-woman relationship. And the daytime, work is worship. Work. They are engaged in, fully engaged in work. And then hardly time for eating. Sometimes they engage in such a way that they don't get time for eating also. I've seen many places. I was in Pune, so I see there are special trains from Pune to Mumbai. Every day they go for 4-hour journey from Pune to Mumbai and then again they come back. So their journey is around 6 hours to and fro. And work is another 8 hours. 8 plus 6, 14 hours. Out of 24 hours, they are fully busy in 14 or 16 hours like that. There is no time for family also. So in this world we see everyone is fully, mostly into passion and ignorance. And some people are in goodness. Goodness means they get up early in the morning, they do some yoga, asana, pranayam, something like that, anulom, bilom, kapalbhati, and then they don't lie, they don't harm anyone, they are very soft. Yes, you find such kind of people in this world. I am not saying about devotees. In general, those who are in goodness. So, people are like this. They take vegetarian food. Any other symptom of goodness, people? Yes? Please tell. Kindness to the poor people. Wonderful. They are very kind to the poor people. Anything else? They enjoy happy life, right? And they Huh? They prefer do many social service, right? Anything else? The symptom of sattva-guni people, do they go to the temple? Yes, they go to the temple. They go to temple, they worship, they respect everyone. सोमवार को शंकर जी, मंगलवार को हनुमान जी, बुधवार को माता जी, गुरुवार को लक्ष्मी जी, शुक्रवार को संतोषी माँ, शनिवार को शनिदेव, संडे को हरे कृष्णा. They respect everyone. Sarva-dharma samanvaya. Yes, they respect to the elders. They are very respect to the elders. And what else? They have enough bank balance, maybe through business or doing job. They are very imandar in their profession. They don't cheat. What else? Any symptoms of sattva-guna? Always speak truth. Yes, they don't speak lie. Very disciplined, very much disciplined. Humility. They are very humble, tolerant. You will be surprised to hear, dear devotees, you will be surprised to hear that such people, they may not chant a single round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but they have so many good qualities, even more than a devotee. Am I right? You see, sometimes devotee behave in such a way that you surprise, is this a devotee? Hey, किसने कहा हमको? चलो उठो. Like that they shout. Sometimes when the devotees who is chanting 16 round, Hare Krishna devotee or who is a spiritualist, they behave in such a way that others, their heart breaks. They think that outside people are better than the devotees. In manner, isn't it? Are you getting? In manner, in relationship, in behavior, in dealings, outsides are more better than devotees actually. So these are the symptoms of persons, those who are in the mode of goodness. Sattva-guna. Yeah. Yes. The point here is that definitely everything comes to the point, coming to the central point of attitude. That's definitely true. But now you see, so long we are discussing that a person is a non-devotee, is not a Hare Krishna monk. But he has so many good qualities, like all of you said just now. And someone is a Hare Krishna devotee. But we don't see some tangible, extraordinary devotional qualities in such a person. How to understand? कर्म योगी है. हाँ, अच्छा. नहीं, मन किसका कैसा है तो हम बता नहीं सकते. Only thing is that even Mataji, actually sometimes the mind, even they are pure in the mind also. So just hold on at this point. Are you getting? Hold on at this point. I will clarify this at the end of the class. How can you see a person who is not a 16 round chanting, but still he has very good qualities, so many good qualities, and someone is chanting 16 round, but we apparently see that person, it doesn't exhibit some divine qualities. Just hold on and we'll discuss. But before that, what is goodness? Let us see. How many of you have traveled in airplane? Raise your hand. Flight traveling. Okay? You can understand. Those who don't, they can also understand. Now, suppose I am going to Mumbai. Okay? I am staying in Vrindavan. I want to go to Mumbai. So now, how to go to Mumbai in the flight? How? I'll go to my temple roof and flights are going. I'll jump and catch the flight. Is it like this? So what is the way? How I can go to Mumbai? From Vrindavan, is there any airport? Where I have to go? Delhi. Indira Gandhi International Airport. Terminal 3. Okay? So, if I want to go to Mumbai in a flight, then first and foremost thing that at least I have to go from Vrindavan to Delhi. Is it clear? So now I reached in Delhi. Delhi means Delhi airport. Can I board in the flight? No? Why? What else I required? Huh? Ticket. Air ticket. Okay? Boarding pass. Yes, you have to get the boarding pass. Okay? Then only you can board in the flight. Now, somehow I got the boarding pass. Then how I can reach Mumbai? For that, what next point? You have to find out the gate number. Gate number, and then go inside and then find out the seat number. Then you can board in the seat in the flight. Now, next question. All of you are right. Till now, all of you are correct. Are you with me? All of you are with me? Yes. Next question. Now, person who is having the boarding pass, he can board in the flight and he can go to Mumbai. Now, my next question is that in the airport, apart from passenger, okay? In the airport, apart from passengers, who else are there? Who are else? Those who are in the airport? Staff. Very nice. Staffs. And please tell. Securities? Yes. Who else? Shopkeepers? Yes. Very nice. Shopkeepers. Anyone? Who else? Air hostess? Yes. Air hostess are there roaming around. Even they are in the airport also. Who else are there? Who are? Pilots, definitely. And those who came to drop us, our relatives. Of course, they may not go inside, but they are also in the airport premises. Okay, is it clear? Now the question is that, do all these people who you told that these are also in the airport, can they go to Mumbai? No. Are you sure? They cannot go. Why? They are also in the airport. Just like I am going to Mumbai, I am in the Delhi airport. In the same way, these people are also in the Delhi airport. But why they cannot go to Mumbai? Please tell. They have no ticket. They don't have boarding pass. Yes. Yeah, nothing. No ticket, nothing, no boarding pass. So they can just be in the airport only. Is it clear? They can just be in the airport, but they cannot go to Mumbai unless they get the boarding pass. Okay, this much is clear. Now, is there any other way? Now this question is little tricky and you have to think deeply. Let us test your IQ. Namaste. Let us test your IQ. Question is that you all said that only by getting the boarding pass, air ticket, I can board in the plane and go to Mumbai. Is there any other way a person can be board in the flight and go to another place? Please tell. Yeah, I am not a staff, I am not a pilot, but still, in this case, how? There should be another mic actually. Everyone should hear what she is saying. Actually, what I am saying, little, I'll give you one hint, then it will be more clear. Let us hear. I asked that, is there any way that a person, a passenger, can board in the flight and go to another place without any ticket? No other way, not possible. Are you agree? Not possible.
Haribol.
When the person owns the plane, his own plane, he can go in his own plane. Haribol. Please say Haribol to her. If it is emergency, now Mataji is very close to answer. It will become more clear. If it is emergency, even without ticket, even without boarding pass, you can go to another place. Now, what is that emergency? Let us see. What is that emergency? I'm not talking about this passenger plane. It's any kind of flight I am saying, any kind of plane. Emergency means what? Like any calamities, disasters. Yes? If you can remember, 2013, there was a great pralayam, disaster in Kedarnath. Many devotees had gone for yatra also, Chardham yatra. They all stuck up there somewhere. And to rescue them from Indian Air Force, Defense, the flight came. Okay? And 10s and 20s and 50s, all of them, they board in the flight and they were rescued from that place to Delhi. So this is also one way that one can board in the flight even without ticket. That's a very emergency. So far, is it clear? Now, take this analogy or take this example and compare with the modes. Okay? The person, suppose I am going to Mumbai, for this at least I have to reach Delhi airport. Then only I can go, board the flight and go to Mumbai. So reaching to the airport is compared to mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means you are in the airport. You reached in the airport. That is mode of goodness. Now, in that example, what else we discussed that, okay, I understood that. at least to go to the spiritual world or to go to the higher planetary systems, a person has to come to airport is compared to goodness. There is no question in the passion and ignorance. To elevate to the higher planets, there is no question passion and ignorance. One has to come to the goodness. So that is understood. Now, let's further discuss this analogy. What I discussed that, in the airport, apart from the passenger, there are many other persons are there. Like you said, the staffs, the securities, the relatives, so many people are there. So those who are roaming in the airport, they are compared to the people who are just in the mode of goodness. Those who say, I am very pious, I don't harm anyone, I don't speak lie. And all such people are just like they are in airport. Only thing is that they have to get the boarding pass. And the boarding pass means they have to practice bhakti. Just remaining itself in the mode of goodness is not enough to the higher planets. Is it clear? Even though they reach in the airport, that's not enough. They have to get the air ticket, the boarding pass. That is called the practicing devotional service, getting initiated, chanting Mahamantra, practicing bhakti. केवल सत्व गुण में रहने से नहीं होता है, भक्ति करना पड़ता है. Then only you can transcend the modes. Otherwise you can be in the airport only. And sometime what happens, such staffs, say security or any other staff of airport, because of their casual behavior or casual attitude in the service, they instead of getting promotion, they get demotion. Either they may get demotion instead of getting promotion in their job, or they may be transferred to another place. So that is like a person who is in the mode of goodness. It's not necessary that he will always remain in the mode of goodness, because in this material world, the modes are so powerful that any time a person who is in the mode of goodness can come to the lower modes. Lower modes means passion and ignorance. There is a heavy risk in this world, material world, in this Bhagavad-Gita, that person can be influenced by any modes. So that's like some airport staff or security, they get demotion in their career, in their profession. And then, what is the meaning of person who is not having air ticket, but still he can be transferred to another place? In that emergency, that is Mahat Kripa. Mahat Kripa. If someone is not having any qualification of bhakti, what qualification Mrigari had? That hunter. Hunter was not chanting 16 rounds. But Narad Muni's grace, because of the Mahat Kripa, that hunter, he became a very wonderful devotee, pure devotee. So, and it's very rare actually. In Bhakti Rasama Sindhu, Rupa Goswami Pad writes, such cases are very rare. That's called Kripa Siddha. How it is rare, you can understand that someone can get PhD doctor after matriculation, high school, 12th, graduation, post-graduation, and then PhD. He can get a doctorship. But sometimes, some university gives an honorary degree to someone by seeing their qualification, by seeing their excel in their profession. Anyone? Do you know? Prabhupada gives example of Rabindranath Tagore. He got his doctorship from the university just because he was a poet. some celebrities, some sportsmen, someone is excel in his profession, and the university or government chooses that this person should be given as doctorship. So that is called Mahat Kripa. That is not the regular school. What is the regular school? Sadhra, sadhusang, bhajana kriya, anartha nivruti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and then you get PhD. That is the regular school, what we are doing. But at the same time, we should try to collect kripa from various sources, from Lord, from Dham, from devotee, from various Lord's associates. We should never displease anyone by collecting curses. We should behave in such a way that we can accumulate blessings from others. So that's called Mahat Kripa. Just like the Indian government, Defense Department, it rescue the persons who are in very risky and emergency situation. So sometime we see that someone is not a devotee, but if some great souls, Mahat Kripa comes, then he or she is delivered. But that is rare, that is not the general procedure. So by this example you can understand that just goodness is not enough. Just remaining in the goodness is not sufficient. Because any time other modes can affect us, we can come to the lower modes. And you can see that, अरे इन्होंने ऐसा काम किया क्या? कभी हमने सोचा भी नहीं था. We have never thought. No, because these modes are so powerful that any time affect to any such person. So therefore the best way is that transcending the modes. What is the verse in Bhagavad-Gita? He says that by practicing bhakti you can transcend the modes. Please recollect. Mam choya vyabhicārena bhakti-yogena sevate sagunan samatittetan brahma bhūyāya kalpate. If we practice abhyabhicāreni bhakti, then we can transcend the modes even more than goodness. Even we can go from goodness to the pure mode of goodness. Only in the pure mode of goodness we can access to the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, Vaikuntha. Goodness is not enough. Goodness is like going to the airport. From there you can, if someone lives the body in the goodness, he can at most go to the heaven or Brahmaloka or like that. Such a wonderful example. I request all of you who are sitting here and understand my language, you can remember this example of person going to airport and various points with various modes. Now coming to the point, what I said, just hold on. What was the question? Please remind me. What I said? See, the last part of the discussion is that a person he may not chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he may not be initiated devotee, he may not be a full-time devotee, but he has so many noble qualities, we see. But a person who is practicing bhakti, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, initiated devotee, but we see not having good qualities or divine qualities. See, the point here is that while practicing bhakti, there are various stages come, phases come. So one is like nishtha. So what happens that this person A, who is having all good qualities, try to understand. Person A, who is having all good qualities, although he is not a devotee, this is just because he has acquired from his sanskara, from his previous birth, from his previous samskaras, he has acquired some goodness. And because of that, he exhibits some qualities, that humbleness, truthfulness, not speaking harsh, very pakka in his profession. So he has acquired some qualities because of mode of goodness, his upbringing, his previous birth and everything. But that is not sufficient for himself to get out of this world unless he practices bhakti. But you see in the case of person B, okay, he has started practicing bhakti, chanting Hare Krishna, even getting initiated. But apparently it seems that he is very harsh. He is not proper in his dealings. He is not so humble. But because he started powerful process of practicing bhakti, in this life he may become very pure. It may happen that in this life he will go back to the spiritual world, or at most in the next life. Because the plus point is that person B has started practicing bhakti, at any moment he can be pure. Because the powerful process of bhakti is that yasyastri bhakti bhagavat akinchana sarvai gunas tatra samasate sura. जो भगवान की भक्ति करते हैं उनमें देवताओं के सारे सद्गुण आ जाते हैं. All the divine qualities they appear. So because he doesn't have a sufficient previous background, person is so many factors are actually depending. His previous background, his previous karma, his family life, his upbringing, his education, his surroundings, everything depends actually. Because of that, this person may not exhibit divine qualities right now. But since he is practicing bhakti, the bhakti process has the power that very soon, maybe towards the end of his life, or maybe another life, he will go back to Godhead. But this person A, having all good qualities, he will be stuck up in this material world. At most he may elevate to the Swargaloka or any other planets. And there are so many examples in our movement. There was a Prabhupada disciple. People were seeing him as a crazy person. Crazy, madman. He doesn't know how to speak. Very, very unusual fellow. You will be surprised to hear this person to whom everyone is saying that pagal hai ye, usko bolna bhi nahi aata, ye pagal hai, crazy hai, he doesn't know how to behave, how to speak. But later in his last period of his life, he became such a wonderful devotee, because he was practicing bhakti, that he became a very scholar. And he translated many books of our Goswamis. Anyone knows who is that person? Kisakrita Prabhu. You can find out. His books are there in bookstall, even in Loi Bazaar. All the Jiva Goswami's Sandarbhas, Rupa Goswami books, this Goswami, that Goswami, all books have been translated into English. Who was that person? Some years back, people were accusing him that a crazy fellow. And he became Kusakrita Prabhu, and at the far end of his life, he left his body and he elevated to the higher position. So conclusion is, dear devotees, at least we should remain in the goodness. How to remain in the goodness? Prabhupada writes in NOI, text 2, sattve, Upadeshamrut, nectar of instruction, Prabhupada writes, sattve means following in the footsteps of the previous Acharya. Prabhupada writes in that, what is the meaning of sattve? With this I will end today's discussion. What is the meaning of sattve? He says that, I can read directly from NOI so that you can understand that what Prabhupada expects from all of us. Let me just tell you. Text 3, sattve-bhṛt. Prabhupada writes here that in this Krishna consciousness movement, I am reading from beginning. Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the three modes of material nature. On the transcendental platform, there is no modes. How to reach to the transcendental platform? This is called Visuddha Sattva, the platform of pure goodness or goodness free from contamination by the qualities of passion and ignorance. Now the point what I am saying is that Prabhupada is expecting from all of us. In this Krishna conscious movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend Mangalarati or morning worship, and they filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities. So dear devotees, how to come to the platform of goodness? Bas, Prabhupada is writing in Nectar of Instruction in sattve-bhṛt. This is the way. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Any discussion? He has raised the hand. Mic is there, Prabhu, in behind. If you have any discussion or clarification or any protest, just wait, Mataji. That Prabhuji is
Hare
saying.
Krishna.
Yes.
In Harinam Sankirtan, quality is more important or quantity is more important?
Quality is more important or?
Quantity.
Quantity. Both are important. But means the later part you can hear attentively. If there is no quantity, what is the question of quality? Yes, if there is no quantity, what is the question of quality? Therefore, we should chant maximum number of rounds. Prescribed round is what Prabhupada expects, minimum 16 rounds. If possible, you can chant maximum rounds, and then definitely the quality comes. So therefore, Prabhupada expects from his disciples. I was listening a video clip of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He says that Prabhupada instructs that chant 16 good number of rounds, good quality of rounds, minimum, and then you go out and preach, like that. So, but if you chant maximum number of rounds, more than 16, then well and good. So point here is that when the quantity is there, naturally quality will come, definitely.
But in my case, reverse is happen. Whenever I try for a maximum, the quality will not come.
So therefore, at least if you can chant 16 quality round, well done. Okay? Hare Krishna. Mataji sir. Yes, tell. So that everyone can hear, yeah. It's on actually. Yeah.
We are speaking two person A and person B. Person A is humble, kindness and pure-hearted. Okay. Person B is only a devotion to the God, and he doesn't know anything, he or she. But if he or she is devoting to the God, God will always teach and let her or him to go in the right path or right way. Humble, kindness and every good quality should be with the human. Is it right?
Yes, you are right. Means one who is, what Mataji is saying, that one who is a devotee, at present he or she may not have many divine qualities. But since he is a devotee, he or she is a devotee and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna is there within and he purifies and he guides that this devotee, very soon he will become pure and will exhibit all the symptoms, divine symptoms.
One more question.
Yes.
if we read Bhagavad-Gita, we know or we get all the solution of the lives what we are suffering and facing in our life. Okay, but one thing I don't know, that it is सुख में सुमिरन सब करे दुख में करे न कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे सो दुख काहे का होए। पर हम सुख में और दुख में बराबर का सिमरन करते हैं। शास्त्र के अनुसार आप जैसे प्रभु जी को आपको पता चलता है कि 85% of people doesn't know they what happening in the life, but 15% of person know। आप जैसे प्रभु जी गुरु जी को पता चलता है कि आगे का क्यों दुख आने वाला है, कैसे आने वाला है। Why we doesn't know?
Why we don't know, you are asking?
No, some people will say now we are facing these circumstances, but we know, हमें पता है कि हमें इस बार इस समय सुख आने वाले। जब का दुख भौतिक वो क्यों नहीं पता चलता है। हम सुख में और दुख में बराबर का सिमरन करते, बराबर का ईश्वर को भाव देते हैं। पर वो दुख जो रहता है ना, थोड़ा कष्टदायक रहता है। अगर भगवान को सुमिरन करने से थोड़ा कम होता है, पर उतना अधिक कम नहीं होता है। पर मेरा क्या है, ये कर्म योग है हाँ, पर इससे उभरने का क्या उपाय है? हाँ,
भक्त के लिए सुख और दुख, भक्त के लिए सुख और दुख, फॉर ए डिवोटी happiness and distress he sees in equal vision, and you are saying that उससे उभरने का उपाय क्या है? बस
नहीं, भक्ति करते जाए।
शुद्ध भक्ति। भगवान गीता में कई बार अलग अलग जगह पे कहते हैं सुखे दुखे समकृत लाभा लाभो जया जयो, है ना, ये कहते हैं। फिर कहते हैं स्थितधीर मुनि रुच्यते, a person who is in sthita prajna, he will see happiness and distress like day and night. So the only process is by practicing bhakti, one comes to such a higher platform that he will see happiness and distress, that like the night pass and the day appears, and after day the night, it will come and go. It will just come and go. He will get that inner strength, first inner strength to face, and then main is vision, drishtikon. Main, the devotee gets that realization, that vision, that drishtikon to see various situations in his life, and then he gets lessons from that, like this. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki, now the time is over, we can go to Arati. Arati hai na abhi?